Imagine going through something as rough as law school or medical school or any sort of business venture that you started, and everything's going good. You're in a whole different career. Let's assume that how you felt about a certain issue 10 years ago, today you're completely changed. You don't even feel like that right now. And all of a sudden, rewind, Tima! Somebody goes back into 2015, picks up some old tweets from you that were very disparaging, and now in 2023, you have to answer for it. That's actually what happened with brother Chef Way over on TikTok, also known as Wesley. Now, 8 years ago, this guy was not even thinking about becoming a lawyer, but he's a lawyer now, and he's now the assistant DA in Harris County in Houston. Also, he has a great TikTok channel, TikTok following, over 250,000. He's doing his thing. Young black man, and life is looking up for the guy. He's in the best. He's in a great city, great career, future ahead of him. But unfortunately, this particular story came out about him today. Let's play that clip.
That digital footprint is hard to erase. Harris County Assistant District Attorney Wesley now knows that firsthand. Wesley shows a different side of himself online. Many people on TikTok and Instagram know him as Chef Way. His recipes and cooking videos have attracted thousands of followers. Now, some of his old tweets have folks pissed off. One of them shows a side-by-side of a black woman and a trash dump, with Wesley writing, "I see no difference." Keep in mind, this is also a black man. He's also seen commenting on a picture of two black women, writing that the dark one messed up the pic. Wesley has since issued an apology. His boss, District Attorney Kim Ogg, says he was going through alcohol abuse issues back then, and she accepts that as an explanation for his behavior because he's now getting help. Let's bring in our PR specialists, Bridget Joe, and attorneys Audia Jones and Oliver Brown, who is also the CEO of Online Trolls. Trolls Inc. We just had you here, Oliver. You're back again. So first of all, as a PR specialist, when you look at these tweets and what he has put out in the past 2015, 2016, but now in 2023, he's an assistant district attorney. Your thoughts on this and the damage that it could do not only to him, but to the office?
Absolutely. This is horrible. And I mean, even though it was back then, that still shows you that you still feel that way. I don't care if you apologized or not. It's still out there. And so they hired him anyway, knowing that he had this out there, because I did my research. And so now it's like, what are you guys hiding? Now, if they would have put it out there at first in the beginning, then maybe some of the backlash wouldn't have been so harsh. But now it's like you knowingly hired this man, and he had all of these things on his tweets. So they found that out 7 years ago.
Audia, your thoughts on this as a fellow attorney and someone who may come into contact with this guy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the biggest things that comes to my mind is a deplorable failure, really, on the part of the leadership or lack thereof within the Harris County District Attorney's Office to properly vet individuals that are coming in to prosecute individuals that are facing life or death, that are facing significant amount of time in jail. And not just that, but it's like, here we go again. Here's another issue to add to the problems that the Harris County District Attorney's Office is facing. He's not the first and won't be the last with issues of racial bias and prejudice within the office. And I know that firsthand because I used to work there. But the problem is, at what point are we going to be proactive district attorney and not reactive and put programs and processes and sensitivity training into place? And in all honesty, a drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts. So I know those were his thoughts back in 2015 and 2016. We know that. We don't know if they're his thoughts today. However, that is not someone I would ever want to prosecute me as a black woman, knowing how he feels, or to even represent me. I don't know where he stands today, but I will say at some point we have to be proactive rather than reactive.
So, man, let me just say this. As a brother, and I'm sure many of us have been guilty of that, men or women, where we said something online that you wish you could have took back, all right? And let me just tell you this, in this era, especially a lot of black men who have issues or take issues with black women. And you know, when you're a younger person, you don't think about the impact that you have. But you know what? And I've said some things, even in the past, about certain people, certain individuals, certain groups and stuff like that, that I take back, right? Because when you're saying this stuff, you don't think about the impact that's going to have on you or other people. But what I want to tell guys, especially when you're talking about the women, especially the women in our community, don't put that stuff online. All right. Number one, it's wrong. Like, he has one tweet. Black bees make for good punching bags. That's just, I don't know. Like, again, we could say the guy was young, whatever, right? And it could be. But that's not how women are going to look at it, man. And think about your future employment opportunities. Hey, when you want to go and work for a hospital, when you're going to want to work for anybody in the private sector, man, you're not going to be able to do it talking down on women or talking down on black women or anybody, gays, Jewish people. You're not going to be able to do that. All right. He even said this one. If Black Lives Mattered to Sandra Bland, she wouldn't have taken her own life. I'm serious too. That's one. And amongst a numerous of another ones, right? Let me just say this. Keep those things to yourself. There's certain things, and I'm glad my mom watches my YouTube videos, right? I want to give her a shout out, because sometimes I would say things, and this wasn't even towards women, it was just in general. And my mom will be like, son, what do you talk like? You're an adult man, you know? If you feel like that about something, you talk to me about it or somebody else about it. But you don't dare get online and say that about, let's say, a certain issue or a certain thing regarding police brutality or whatever. Leave that alone. You don't know whose family that is or whatever. And I want to thank my mother for that, because, you know, it's all about being an adult and being mature. Many times as black men, you know, some of us, we say things and don't even think about the outcome, you know? And as men, you have to think about the outcome. Women can say things and they can still get employed. You can't say that. And obviously, you know, even for some of the things I've said to the black community, I want to take the opportunity to apologize to the brothers, to the black men out there, and to black women out there. You know, if I've ever said anything that offends people, because at the end of the day, I love our people, right? Black women, dark, light skin, whatever, all the brothers, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's you want to be a man. I've learned now, if you don't like dealing with certain groups of people, leave them alone. Leave them alone. You don't like black women that's dark skinned, stop the show, which is my favorite. Send them over to me. I'll definitely deal with them. Leave them alone. You don't like light skinned women? Leave them alone. You don't like fat women? Leave them alone. We don't have to go online and talk about this person's so fat, or this person's ugly, or this person, or this, you know, I'm glad this person passed away. If you feel that way, keep it to yourself, you know? And as men, we don't get many opportunities. Imagine working that hard to have it all snatched away from you. You know what I'm saying? And I really want you brothers to get out there and get everything you're supposed to get, especially you black men out there who work so hard. Keep it to yourself if you feel some kind of way. Don't even mention how you feel about women and negative things. If you don't have anything nice to say about women on your tweets or on your Facebook or on something like that, keep it to yourself. Because if it's really about not dealing with the women you want to deal with in your life, all you gotta do is avoid them. Black women are not gonna come. One thing I know about them, they're not gonna come to your door and stop you from leaving them alone. That's the fact. They will leave you alone also. So for you to put out your personal opinion, it's not necessary. And you know, we just got to do better, brothers. All right. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.